This video is brought to you by Iona, North America's premier charging network. With unmatched commitment to elevating the customer experience, Iona is opening America's roads to all EVs, giving drivers the coverage they need, the reliability they deserve, and the amenities they crave.
Hello and welcome to a very dirty episode of Out of Spec. We've got something very special for you. Of course, as you can see pulling in by itself, Robotaxi. We're going to give you a little bit of a sneak peek, a little bit of a teaser, a little bit of a taste. Special episode of Out of Spec coming to you right now.
Guys, I'm happy to report that this video has been sponsored by the EV Dance NACS extension cable. Let me show you how it works. I've got a typical mobile EV SE right here, also made by EV Dance, nice 40 amp mobile unit plugged into a NEMA 1450 outlet. Just like any charger that you may roll up to in the public or at a hotel, they have nice long cables, and this one comes all the way out to here. But sometimes you need more. Sometimes you're like my buddy Colton, where you're so worried about door dings, you've got to park this far away from the action. And well, guess what? This cable makes it possible. This is the EV Dance 40 amp EVSE, and I can walk up and plug it in. Again, it's NACS. They make a J1772 version as well. This will work with any Tesla S3, XY, Cybertruck, or any NACS-equipped vehicle, and it's just an awesome unit. Two things I look for with cables like this. High quality, really nice rubberized coating, totally waterproof as well. Absolutely awesome. The second is the actually type of cabling and connection points they have. The entire thing is silver-plated copper lines, which means it's designed to handle high current in extreme temperatures. This thing can handle up to 50 amps of continuous charging, where here I'm doing 40 amps to this car with very minimal voltage sag across the line. In fact, I was a previous customer of this exact unit where I charged every day at my old house with a long driveway with this exact cable. So a huge thank you to EV Dance for sponsoring this video. All of the links will be down in the description. Definitely a great tool to keep in your electric car. Before we go on the ride with Justin and Chris, I'm going to leave their YouTube channels linked in the description below. Really want you guys to go over and show them both some love for taking time out of their day and honestly content away from their channels that they could have been generating to give us this video for Out of Spec viewers. So a really huge shout out to Chris from Dirty Tesla and Justin, who's Bearded Tesla Guy, both of which we've featured many times. We're friends with both of them on our channels, but just so cool to have great friends to go and film videos when we ourselves couldn't make it to Austin to film this for you. Eventually we will, of course, share the Tesla Robotaxi stuff. Before we get into their ride, I thought maybe you'd want to hear just a brief on my impressions. I've watched a lot of videos. I thought Chuck Cook had some really good live streams that I was watching today, and it's, first of all, exciting, I think. Look, I'm a driving enthusiast. I love manual transmissions, canyon carving, that's my world. But I also absolutely love riding around in Waymos. Whenever I'm in LA, I've just been like, park the car at the hotel and then Waymo around. And that has just been a wonderful experience. Because truly, there's nothing more I hate, maybe other than public transport, but there's nothing more I hate than getting in an Uber, because 9 times out of 10, the car smells bad, it's falling apart, it's not maintained, the driver has no idea what they're doing, they're going 10 under the speed limit, causing a hazard to everyone. And look, I've had some great Uber and Lyft experiences, but I always feel like forced to talk to the person, and I don't know, sometimes you just want to be in your own cocoon, honestly, all the time, and not have to deal with anyone. So I really like this idea of personalized, autonomous transport. Now, is it going to be as big of a deal as everyone says it is? I don't know, because I still, given the choice, I would still rather own my own car, park it in my garage, keep my stuff in it, not have to remove everything I get out. So I don't think this is going to replace all transportation, but when I'm visiting a new city as a tourist or, just out on a shoot or whatever, it is really nice just to hit a button on an app. Waymo rolls up, for example. That's the one I've had most experience with. Get in, and then you don't have to deal with anyone. You have your own music, and it's kind of at least now, it's novel, it's cool to be in a self-driving car. So this Tesla Robotaxi thing just went live by the time this video goes up the day before. So it went up I think Sunday, June 22nd is the day it went live. This video is posted on Monday. And Tesla invited a few influencers, a few content creators, and I would say almost journalists in a sense, or at least those that are really familiar with Tesla, to go and experience this launch before the general public can. And, you know, I think that's received a little bit of criticism. There's a couple things that have received criticism. They've sort of cherry-picked the people that they know probably will say good things about it. However, I do, you know, like Chris and Justin, in my opinion, they're very realistic when it comes to this stuff. Yeah, they have high aspirations as to what this could become, and I do too. I'm part of that. Like, I think it's really cool. It's the start of something huge. But I think they're very realistic about when things mess up and when things don't. So I'm really glad that they were able to shoot this video for us. And it isn't just some of those folks where Tesla can do no wrong, because we all know they can do a lot of wrong. So, you know, there's that has received a little bit of criticism from folks. And the other thing is there's a safety driver in the car. Now, from the outside looking in, there's like a couple different ways you can perceive that, which is, okay, they're operating in a geofenced area, which is about 30 minutes from one end to the other, best I could tell. It's not tiny, but it's not a massive area. It's a small scale start with someone in the passenger seat sort of monitoring the driving situation. And you know what? I actually think that's pretty safe. Waymo did the same thing. If you guys remember, when Waymo launched, and even when they did their highway stuff with the Pacificas and I-Paces, like half the cars would have people, half the cars wouldn't. I did a video on that over a year ago, and now you very rarely see safety drivers in Waymos. I think Tesla could get to that point, but I think err on the side of caution. The car is still driving itself, which I think is the big thing. Now, one thing that I've noticed in all the videos I've watched, and I've seen some people talk about this online, the safety driver has their finger on the button, on the door handle button at all times, like right next to it. So I wonder if they've wired the passenger door handle button to like an emergency stop. We have no idea. It's not been confirmed at the time of this recording, but it does seem like they can do like a, oh shit, hit the brakes if something goes wrong. Honestly, pretty good idea. I think it's cool. I think, you know, I'm coming at this with the expectation that it's like, yeah, a lot of people want it to just be FSD, unsupervised, no one in the car, everywhere in the world. But I think it's cool that you got to start small, make sure it works, and then build. And from my perspective, this is just so exciting. Look, I'm not going to say they are going to be, I have no way to predict the future. This could turn out to be a disaster. They could be incredibly unsafe. They could not work in poor weather. I don't know what the future holds, but I will say, in my experience, using this system on my own personal cars it's like amazing 95% of the time. And whatever software they're running in Austin in this area just seems to be totally dialed up that from what the regular consumer has. And you'll see later on in this video as well, Justin and Chris got out at their end location next to a Waymo, and you can just see the sensor differences. Now, is the Waymo going to be 100 times safer? I don't know. I think time will tell when we get to the safety data. All I will say is I think it's exciting that there's a new entrant into the driverless taxi space. If anything, there's no lack of content for us to talk about. Yeah, it's going to freak some people out. Yeah, some people are going to be excited about it. And I think, you know, my approach to this on this channel and hopefully others will have the same, I think, is just like, let's just share what happens. Like good and bad. There's a lot of people that are out to get Tesla and point out every flaw. There's a lot of people that hide all the flaws and don't show anything. I am all about air out everything in the public, show, you know, the live stream, unedited drives. Let's talk about what's good and what's bad and watch technology improve. And I really think this could be cool. I'm not totally sold that this is how everyone's going to get around in the very near future, but I'm excited for it. So join Chris and Justin in their drive using Robotaxi. The one thing we didn't get clips of from them is how the app actually works, but there's plenty of information online how to hail it and, you know, how to like leave a tip, and then it shows the thing that's like, oh, it's a joke because you don't have to tip a robot. Anyway, things like that are in there, but yeah, you can find that online. But this is more or less just like a ride in a Tesla Robotaxi, a new Model Y for the first time with a safety driver in a geofenced area. Still exciting in my opinion. Like we covered the early days of Waymo, we're covering the early days of Tesla Robotaxi. Can't wait to get down there and experience it for myself. Let's go watch the video.
So we've been on a number of rides at this point. I know Chris has been on more than me.
Number 8.
Number 8 for him. I think this is number 6 for me. All of them have been very similar. What are your thoughts so far?
Uneventful, but impressive. I mean, we see it in our own cars, but it's still impressive.
Yeah, I said it. I said in a text to somebody, it's vanilla like the Model Y. It's not exciting, and that's a good thing because we don't want excitement with an autonomous vehicle. So it's just working the way you would expect it. I'll give you the same view I keep giving in all of these rides, and I'll turn the camera around here and show you the hidden controls he has to be hiding up there. So as you can see, there's no Donkey Kong controller in his hand. There's no pedals down there. There's literally nothing. And one of the things we were discussing earlier is with the steering wheel during the 1010 event, somebody did, for education purposes, try to grab that wheel, and it would not move, it wouldn't budge. So I assume it's going to do the same thing. I don't think he could even grab to take over that wheel and jerk it and potentially cause an accident. So literally he has no more control than we do back here with pullover, except in a real emergency, he could, I guess, stop in lane, and that would mean the vehicle would not try to pull over before stopping. It would just literally stop. So that is the only difference. That is the only thing he can do up there that we cannot do back here. But other than that, he can't do anything to control this vehicle, which is pretty cool. Also, I'll give you a quick, while we still have just a moment, maybe we don't have a moment, I'll get it on the next one. We'll get you an idea of what the support button does, because that's pretty fun too. All right, so when you get in Robotaxi, here's kind of the procedure and what you're going to see. It's not going to do anything until everybody is safely buckled. And then it gives you this really cool prompt, and when you're ready, you can start. But what's nice about this is...
Sorry to interrupt, but route contains closed roads. It's interesting.
Ooh, yeah, that is interesting. I haven't seen that one yet. So we'll see what that means. So it won't start until you press this. So if you have people outside lollygagging, it's not going to just take off without them. So that's actually pretty nice. So there you go. Right off the bat, you're actually getting a lot of the good stuff. Reverse immediately. And this is going to take a left right away. What's interesting about the geofence area too is there's a lot of construction going on, and some of these roads are pretty rough. Probably not what I would have chose for perfect conditions for a Robotaxi fleet trying to show it off. That just shows the confidence, in my opinion, on how confident they are on this thing rolling out. Nice, easy, smooth left turn. And for those viewers of Out of Spec who have experienced full self-driving, the best way that we can explain it is that it's basically what you're used to. You're probably looking at the screen like, hey, I recognize this, and it operates very much the same. It's just slightly more confident in some of these turns, but everything else is so familiar, and it's smooth. It's not jamming on the brakes. It's not like hesitating like right here, where in some cases in my car it would kind of hesitate as it's rolling forward, and this thing, it just knows where these cars are, and it is confident rather than just pumping the brakes real hard there and giving you a little jerk. Yeah, we're in Terry Black parking lot. Like, this is not an easy place to navigate.
Well, you guys were all complaining about parking in it earlier.
Oh my gosh, yeah. And we paid $25 to park because the minimum was 2 hours, and it was $25. It's ridiculous.
Oh,
it's like crazy.
It's not waiting for this guy.
No.
It's like...
It's trying to get around these people.
Oh,
so
it's letting us out. Darn. All right.
But I will show you what it does after this, because this is kind of
I'll hop in the trunk and you close it.
This is it's a pretty complicated situation that it's in the moment. Oh my gosh, look beside you. This is why we're stuck. Can you believe it? They're sabotage. No, this is actually perfect. Look, I want to show you something. This is Tesla's answer to autonomous driving. This is the current leader in autonomous driving, and both of them have very different approaches, as you can clearly see. Really cool to see them right next to each other. Both of them are very cautious and careful around pedestrians. Of course, Waymo has a very long track record of that safety, and Tesla is here to prove that they also translate the safety they have with consumers into an autonomous fleet as well. So as these other cars are trying to get around, we're watching Robotaxi try to figure out what it wants to do, and people are very aggressive, so it's not going to stop for this guy. It had enough of letting people go around. Of course, we've got this guy backing up. This is just how Terry Black's parking lot is. This is a normal experience. It's like survival of the fittest in this parking lot, and I'm actually surprised that it was aggressive enough to get through all of that. So there it goes, heading off.
Well, thank you guys for joining Chris and Justin on the drive. Again, show their YouTube channel some love down below. It's really, again, amazing to have friends in the EV car community that are willing to take very precious time and honestly huge videos for their channels and let us share them with you all. I think it's super exciting. I can't wait to get to Austin and experience this myself. I want to know, do you love this? Do you hate this? I think it's great to have varied mixed opinions. I kind of see all sides of it. I see where this is like scary, and you may not want to be the car next to the Robotaxi right now because we don't know how they'll perform and they might do some weird things. And then on the other hand, you can say, wow, the technology is just so cool that literal series production passenger cars with no hardware differences are driving around literally autonomously. Yeah, you could say, does the safety driver make it not autonomous? I don't think so. I think the cars, in my opinion, are autonomous, and they're doing it through vision only. I mean, it's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. They're kind of doing stuff that everyone said wouldn't be possible. Now, tomorrow, are they all just going to crash into something? I don't know. I really have no clue. But I will say it's exciting and it's interesting, and I'm sort of captivated by this. As someone who loves to drive, I think it's so funny that I also love this driverless era that we're coming into. Personalized, individual mobility, where you're not on a bus with a bunch of smelly people. You're not in an Uber with a driver who very clearly should not be an Uber driver. I've had so many of those recently, so many bad experiences in Ubers that I just love the idea of this. I just hope it works. I hope it's safe. I hope Tesla is successful in this, just like I hope all the other companies that try this are successful. And I am excited to see how it shapes the future of transportation, not just in our market, but the global car market. So thanks so much for watching. Huge shout out to the Dirty Tesla and Bearded Tesla Guy YouTube channels. We'll see you on another one again soon. Bye-bye.